What's up, everyone? It is Diecastbuffet here again, guys. We have one of the coolest two-car sets in NASCAR Diecast history. It is the 2024 and the 1994 Brickyard 400 Race Win Diecast. Kyle Larson and Jeff Gordon two-car set. The box artwork, the diecast, it is going to be amazing. Make sure to give the video a huge thumbs up, and let's get it off the rotating base. And here we go, fellas, with the two-car set in hand. Let me tell you, love the box artwork they did with this one. They could have done more of a generic one. In fact, they actually have a generic two-car box design. They didn't even use it for this one. No, they said, let's design a special one. Such an awesome design for the Hendrick 40th anniversary. Even though it's released in 2025, it's still part of that. So you have a very nice image of the two cars inside with the clear plastic. They're both in the Hendrick 40th anniversary Cup Series boxes. They didn't use a NASCAR Classics one. I'm actually glad they didn't, because it just looks a little bit more uniformed, because the Classics box is blue. It would have kind of just been a little too much, in my opinion. I think they did a good choice with that. So you have all the little logos and different designs. I love how it has the IMS logo there. That's really cool. Then it has the Brickyard 400 30th anniversary decal there. You have the 24, and then Kyle Larson, which, you know, just so much history with Hendrick Motorsports here. But what's so cool about this box design is it brings me straight back to the 2000s and all the just amazing things they would do. The Jeff Gordon Lumina right there on the front, or no, probably the front straightaway here at IMS. Just beautiful, beautiful looking race car. Got the 40th anniversary decal there, and Brickyard 400 anniversary. Got the 5 and a 24. And then you go over here, you got another image, 30 years in the future. Kyle Larson burning it down in that legendary HendrickCars.com paint scheme, which, I mean, there was so much history with that car, man. I mean, from the Indy double header, and then not even turning a green flag lap at the Coke 600. They brought it back for IMS and had a fantastic run. And I'm so glad Larson won the Brickyard, man. The Brickyard 400, to me, it never lost its importance, in my opinion, to the sport. I'm so glad it's back, and I hope they keep it there. Got another image of that beautiful Jeff Gordon Lumina, which 94 was his second full-time season, and he won the first ever Brickyard 400, which we'll be doing a review on both of these cars. And let me tell you, the 1994 Brickyard 400 is arguably one of the most important races ever in motorsports history. The crowd for that event, I can't even tell you how insane it was. The numbers for that race is just ridiculous. Those numbers will probably never be matched. I would be shocked if they were ever matched ever again. It's just insane. So anyways, go to the back panel of the diecast artwork. You have Kyle Larson crossing the bricks. Just, it feels really professional, really well done. This does not feel rushed. This feels like something they really took their time designing. And massive W, Lionel, Hendrick, all the cats involved. Fantastic stuff. So if you're curious how this thing actually opens up, there's two little clear tabs here. I'm going to carefully open this up. I'll be right back. All right, so we got the tabs opened up on the box. And how it works, you just peel it back. You know, it's just a little plastic little tape thingy. Anyways, you peel it back. It's a wax-coated cardboard, so it shouldn't tear it if you take your time with it. Shouldn't worry about it. Anyways, you just kind of gently pull the little coat hanger thing here, and that'll open up the box. And then you gently do this. Gently fold it open, and now you can get the plastic tray, which where the die casts are, out of the little box. Just really cool stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and set this to the side, and we'll pick our first die cast, which will probably go with the Larson because it's the newer one, and I'll be right back. All right, folks, the Kyle Larson Brickyard Race Win in hand, and what a awesome looking paint scheme here. Check out the sun visor on that thing. It's like taking up about 40% of the windshield. That is pretty cool. So here's a look at the box design. They kind of had a generic look to it, but it was a special anniversary year for Hendrick. Over here to the side of it, it does have an exclusive tag to it. So if you get this die cast individually, which you can over there at Circle B, you can pick up the two-car set as well over there. You can use promo code Diecastbuffet if you'd like. But the Jeff Gordon one is exclusive. Looked around, I didn't see anything with it. You can get this one, you know, individually, but in terms of the Brickyard win, from what I see, it is going to be exclusive to this two-car set unless it's released later on in the NASCAR Winner Circle line. I digress. My point is, if you want the special box tag, you're going to have to pick up the Kyle Larson in the 2-car set to get that exclusive tag, which you can see it right there. I love how it says Camaro and Lumina. That's just really cool, man. I mean, it's just so much history, man. And believe it or not, I want to say this is the first Brickyard 400 diecast, race twin diecast, since Tony Stewart 2007. I could be tripping on that. Obviously we're not including the AJ Allmendinger and the Tyler Reddick road course wins at Indy, and of course Michael McDowell as well. We're not including those. But in just terms of Brickyard 400, this is the first one I want to say since 2007. And I'm going to go ahead and carefully open it up. I'll be right back. And here we go, folks, diecast in hand. So if you're curious, how much damage may or may not be on this car, how the raced wear is, you get a very good look at it with today's diecast review. I love doing these videos on these cars. And this is one of 3 variants of this paint scheme to actually be released. If you look back to right at the end of 2023, so they announced this paint scheme, I think, August or September of 2023. And they had this diecast as just a normal clean variant released in, the last week of 2023. And then you had the Coke 600 variant, which I want to say released, maybe September 2024. Now, here in July of 2020, or actually, I think this one was released right at the end of the June, but right at the end of the June. Excuse me for gargling up my words there. We're reviewing this in July, so that's crazy. The same paint scheme got released 3 times over 1.5 years, but for good reason. And the reason why is the first run of this car was just literally this paint scheme. There was no patriotic tires or banners or anything, and obviously no dirt and wear. That car apparently is hard to find, and it even had a exclusive box with it. The qualifying set edition, which was based on the Indy double, the car ran at Charlotte, has the patriotic banner and the patriotic wheels. So my point is, and why I go through all that hoops just to explain that, if you're wanting the clean variant of this car with the non-patriotic logos and graphics, good luck finding it. It is going to be one of the harder Kyle Larson diecasts to find from the next-gen era, but it does exist. You got HendrickCars.com right there on the front of the diecast. I love this haze of dirt and grime on the front of the car. Just so cool seeing Larson with the Brickyard, man. There's just so much history with Hendrick at Indy, and then Larson. It just seems like every time you have a superstar driver, like Jimmy Johnson's, Tony Stewart's, Dale Earnhardt's, you got to win the Brickyard. You just got to win the Brickyard. Kyle Busch, you got to win the Brickyard. Kevin Harvick, you got to win the Brickyard, right? There's just such a pageantry to the best in the sport winning the Brickyard. Bill Elliott, Bobby Labonte, you just got to win it. And Larson finally had his chance after, 5 years? Yeah, it was a 5-year break, I think, because he didn't run it in 20, and the race was moved to the road course for 21, 2, and 3. So yeah, last one was the 2019 Brickyard, and that was with Ganassi equipment, not with Hendrick. So there were 5 right there. You can see the carbon fiber detail in the front splitter, very, very sharp. Got a bunch of dirt and grime. You have the little yellow day-glow corners there, and they even decaled the bottom of the splitter, which is very, very sharp. Go left side of the diecast, you have the HendrickCars.com paint scheme, which gives me a lot of Terry Labonte vibes, the blue, orange, and white. And speaking of which, he actually ran a throwback to that for 2025. It ended pretty early because I think he spun out or something. I kind of wish they would just run it back for 2026 because it was sad, right? But that's a great diecast. You could pre-order that one. That should be coming out pretty soon. Go left side of the car here. You got a little bit of some fender damage. I don't know. Maybe he, scraped another car in a restart, or maybe tapped the wall during the burnout. Got Kyle Larson there. 4 race win stickers. Valvoline 40th anniversary. HendrickCars.com. Got that haze of dirt on the side, and you have your B post decal. Chevrolet Exalta. Cincinnati Industries DLP. No, it's not DLP. I think they left the sport a long time ago. I could be tripping. Freightliner, Mac Tools, and Sibians. Go to the back panel of the diecast and check this out. I don't think I've ever seen this before. A carbon fiber spoiler. I don't think I've ever seen them do that on a next-gen car. Am I tweaking? There's a carbon fiber. I didn't even know the spoilers were carbon fiber. I thought they were a fixed piece of, composite or metal or whatever, because they don't want people tampering with it. carbon fiber is, you know, it's a pretty strong piece, but I feel like there's room for some Mickey Mouse there, so to speak. I don't know. That's actually really interesting. Did they run that on all the cars that weekend? At number 5, ZL1, Valvoline, a little bit of a goof up there. That's okay. Go to the right side of the diecast. A little bit more haze on the right side of the car. Down the side panel, which looks really sharp. One little detail I noticed is this little circle right here. And you can see it right here, and you can see it right here. And I have a little bit of a theory with this. So if I had to guess, when they were doing the rendering for this diecast, they used the exact same template as the Coke 600 car, right? Well, if you look closely, that's the exact same shape as the NASCAR Salutes logo. I'm thinking when they were editing it, they forgot to remove maybe the outlining of it. I don't know. I mean, it's a circle in the exact same spot I would imagine the NASCAR Salutes logo would be. So it's a minor little, you know, oopsie-doo, but I ain't worried about it. To me, if you look at it from the side, it just looks like more dirt and grime, so I'm cool with it. Go to the top of the car, you have the number 5 right there with the inverted color palette, which looks really, really sharp. Got hiring text, and then you have Larson on the back window. And if you're curious why the Larson name looks kind of botched, it's because they're supposed to be that way. There's some holes on the rear window that allow air to flow through the cabin, and that's why the rear names kind of look a little bit cut up. Got HendrickCars.com right there on the back panel, and what a fantastic diecast, man. I'm telling you, this 2-car set with that Jeff Gordon diecast, that one is going to be such a hard to find diecast if they don't release it in the Winter Circle line. It's going to be amazing. I feel like when we go to review this car, I'm going to be blown away with it, man. So highly recommend getting this 2-car set while you can. I have no idea how many they're making of this, but Hendrick's starting to kind of do a little bit more exclusivity with their diecast. We saw this with the 4-car set, the Ruby Red card for Kyle Larson, I think Alex Bowman as well. You had to get it via the Hendrick cars or the Hendrick 40th anniversary pack, right? You can get them in the Authentics line individually, but in terms of just a normal Gold Series production run, you couldn't. So I think this is something we're going to see more of, and if that means more diecasts get produced, I'm all for it. I love to see more cars get produced. And anyways, we're going to go ahead and jump to the Jeff Gordon diecast. I'll be right back. And here we go, folks, with clearly the brightest diecast you'll probably see in your lifetime. The Jeff Gordon fluorescent paint red-orange with that beautiful blue metallic paint job. One of the most iconic paint schemes, I mean, just ever, bro. Awesome, awesome stuff. The Brickyard 400 race to win, and it's the most detailed one ever produced, I believe, in terms of the actual diecast mold and all kinds of cool stuff we'll be talking about in the video, and I'll explain why. So go over here to the little tag. It's the same as the Kyle Larson one. Again, it has that exclusive tag to it, which is really, really cool. You can see all the dirt and grime, that Chevrolet Lumina body style. Wow, this is going to be cool. I'm going to go ahead and carefully open it up, and we'll finally get this diecast in hand. And here we go, folks, with one of the most epic diecasts I have ever had in the studio. The 94 Brickyard Raced Win, and just wow. This car is absolutely beautiful. So they nailed the red-orange on the DuPont car once again. That's true fluorescent. You have the metallic blue paint job. Look at the front end of this diecast. It is actually a lot heavier than most of the cars. And in fact, I would almost put it closer to a diecast chassis of one. I think it's because the front of the car has a really thick amount of metal, and obviously the back bumper as well, the way it kind of sticks out. There's probably a lot of diecast metal there. So anyways, I talked about the accuracy with this car, and it's not a 1,000% one, but I still think it is the most accurate one ever produced. So it is the original early 90s Lumina style mold that they would use for multiple different cars. Obviously in the 90s, they did a lot of them with the Winter Circle program. I think it was called the Legacy series or something, and they would remake like Earnhardt and Gordon stuff, and they would put it in their normal retail line. Anyways, they would go back in time and use some of these old school diecast molds, but the molds were so good that they would still use them today. And in fact, they still do. Like the 88 Monte Carlo mold, they use that one a lot of times. Well, the reason why this one's so accurate is not only does it has a great diecast mold, but it also has the window print, which the last time they made this car, I want to say it was an error. I could be tripping on that, but I want to say it actually had chrome wheels I don't know where that came from. I don't know. Maybe I'm false on that one. But it had no window print. It had the window bars embedded in the plastic, but there was no window print. And I want to say the wheels were off on it as well. Got DuPont right there on the hood of the car. You have the just beautiful underwater blue style paint job. Wow. Got the front of the diecast here. Now, I want to say that the front grille right there, I don't know if that's a factory error or not, but it's a little bit slanted there, unfortunately. Hey, man, it's a raced version, so I don't mind it. You can see a little bit of valence tape at the bottom. It's not true day glow, so I imagine maybe this is something they put on the car to check like clearance, you know, in the corner. If it scuffs the tape, then they know they got to work on the ride height. But the contingencies, you got a gumbo pot of those. Trying to get the camera to focus. This thing is very, very bright, by the way. So it might not look like it on your television set or whatever you're watching on. Let me tell you what, you put this car in sunlight, wow. Got Die Hard, got Plastalock, Simpson, Moog, Edelbrock, JE, Union 76, competition cams? Is that what it is? I don't know. Not sure what that bottom right decal is. Got Mac Tools. Number 24, notice no headlight decals. Another interesting detail here, and I don't know if this is actual raced wear damage or not, is you can see a little bit of a hood line there on the front of the car. You see the little gap between the grill and the Chevy bow tie? I don't know if that's a decal or that's actually a part of the casting, because you can see a little bit of silver there. I don't know why. That is so interesting. So I don't know if that's a decal they put there, if that's, you know, something they put there to simulate damage, you know, like, hey, maybe he like bumped another car on pit road or something, and that's why the decal's a little crooked. Either way, it looks fantastic. Go to the left side of the diecast, you have a bunch of donut marks there. I wonder who we got into it with. Was it Earnhardt? I don't know. Got the 24 there. Got the Jeff Gordon signature in that same shade of day glow yellow. Look at all the contingencies, man. I tell you what, these Gordon diecasts, get them while you can. As I mentioned, this car, I did not see a normal non-2-pack release of this car, right? So if it doesn't get pushed to the winner circle line, which it could, it couldn't, I don't know, right? If it doesn't show up there, this car is exclusive to the 2-car set. Don't be the Jeff Gordon fan that misses out. Get it while you can. And even if it is in the winner circle line, it's not going to come in one of these boxes. It's going to be a different style of presentation. Get it in the 2-pack set. Pick it up. Get your Larson diecast with it. Highly recommend it. They also have some other Gordon cars. I showed this one earlier, but you can get the Dover win. They have the 1994 Charlotte win, the Coke 600, his first ever career win. Pick up some Gordon diecasts while you're over there, man. They got some great ones. And I'll end my point on this. I've noticed for the last 6 or 7 years, they've been making a lot of Jeff Gordon raced wins from, you know, the 2000s and the 90s. One thing I've noticed is they dry up pretty quickly. I'm just saying. So get them while you can. You have a Goodyear right there. You have True Value, DuPont, AP, Western Auto, Prestone, Goodyear, Holley, Clevite, Stant Autometer, whatever the bit that is, Gatorade, Goodies, got Cup Series, which is the old school Winston Cup logo. You got NASCAR race car. You have nothing on the B post, I don't think. I don't know what that's there. Okay, so that little circle there, I don't know if that's just a decal they put there, or maybe that's where a air hose would go to maybe the helmet or something. Got Hendrick, Mac Tools, got DuPont Automotive Finishes. Check out that vintage Valvoline logo. Go to the back panel of the diecast, got DuPont Automotive Finishes once again. No tail light decals, as this was before that. Got the number 24 Valvoline. Got the little kick out on the back bumper, which looks so freaking cool, man. A lot of detail there. Got a little bit of a tape or a center bracket for the spoiler. Got the bow tie. It's a little bit off-centered, but again, it might be that way. If he got bumped on pit road, it could, you know, on the real car, it would crinkle up underneath the rear tail, which could make the metal look skewed. Another thing that I noticed on, I think the Charlotte win, or it was one of the original, not original, but it was like a early 2010s edition, I think, of this car, the Brickyard win, is the right side of the car was so low. I don't know if that's accurate to this era of cars, but from what I'm seeing here, the door numbers match up pretty well. So I don't know if that was a factory error on one of the previous Gordon cars, but you can clearly see the left side skirt where it ends and the right side skirt how much lower it is. So my point is, This one looks way better than that one I saw in terms of the right side accuracy, at least from what I understand. I don't think they made the whole side decals all the way down to the bottom. I could be tripping on that. But anyways, just really cool seeing that painted side skirt with that blue and how low it hangs. I mean, that's pretty cool. Top of the diecast here, you have the iconic number 24 right there on the roof with that beautiful underwater blue. I don't know if it's mica blue. I don't know what blue they used, but DuPont paint schemes, man, let me tell you, they know how to make some good ones. I would love to see more DuPont metallic paint jobs with William Byron. Over here to the decklet of the car. Now, this one, I don't remember what decal was here, but I've noticed they did this on another one of his wins. Actually, I think they did it on the Dover win. Yeah, they did. I don't know if I can get it on the camera angle, but you can see it says, yeah, that right there, September 15th, 1996. Brings me to a whole other point that I mentioned earlier, why this is one of the most important races in motorsports history. Did you know that the 1994 Brickyard 400 had over, I think, 85 entries for the race? I mean, the field was 43 cars. Think about that for a second. Over 85 entries. And the reason why is they took, I want to say, what used to be the ARCA, or it was, you know, the ARCA East or West Series nowadays, but back then I think it was like Busch Grand National North, something. Anyways, they brought those cars to IMS for that event to qualify. I don't know if any of them made it, but it was the largest field in probably NASCAR history, or at least in the modern era for sure, because, you know, back in the 50s, 40s, and whatnot, there was, you know, a lot of different things. But for stock car racing and motorsports events, but that right there was insane. And then the attendance for the 94 Brickyard was just absolutely bananas. I want to say it was over 300,000. I could be tripping on that. So it was just record setting, and the build up to that event was just insane. I mean, it was a pipe dream for so many years, stock cars at Indy, because, you know, IMS was strictly open wheel for a long time, pretty much. Like, that was their only spot. And NASCAR wanted to compete there, I imagine, because it would be a great thing. And eventually it became a reality that they did testing there. People were just showing up just for the tests. I mean, ridiculous amounts of people just to go watch cars just, you know, test at IMS. So when Gordon won that race, you can make a very good argument that Gordon won the most important NASCAR race in history, that being the 94 Brickyard, because that event, the attendance, the build-up, the history at the time, IMS already had like 70 to 75 years worth of history just at the time already. So you could imagine just being a fan, you know, witnessing that for the first time. It's just remarkable stuff. And that to me is one of the greatest moments in motorsports history, and to have the race to win diecast of it is really awesome. Another thing I want to touch on here is, when was the last time what was the last few Brickyard 400 race to wins they actually made? We talk about 2007 was the last one, I think, officially. They made Tony Stewart's 2005 one as well. And I want to say they made the 2006 edition. I want to say they made that one. What's fascinating is Gordon won the race in 04, and he also won it in 01. I don't think they made a 164 scale raced version for it. Maybe the 04 one, I'm not 100% sure. But I do know they made a Jimmy Johnson one, I believe, and that was for 2006. So it's been a while. It's been almost 20 years since a Brickyard 400 raced win diecast was produced in the 164 scale. Awesome stuff. Got the first one and the most recent one. Hopefully this is a tradition to keep it, you know, that keeps growing. It's crazy though. It's only been 30 years of history of the Brickyard 400 with NASCAR at Indy. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thank y'all so much for watching. Thank you to all the people who've been supporting the channel using that promo code. Go pick up this 2-car set, man. Highly recommend it. Diecastbuffet, signing off.